long before telescopes pierced the darkness, long before satellites mapped the heavens. Our ancestors were already watching, already calculating, already reaching toward a universe that should have been entirely beyond their grasp. In Scotland, 10,000 years ago, someone carved pits into the earth that tracked the moon. The Warren Field calendar, the oldest lunar calendar ever discovered. In Babylon, astronomers predicted solar eclipses centuries in advance using the legendary Saros cycle. On the Salisbury Plain, Stonehenge rose as a precisely engineered solar and lunar observatory that still aligns with the heavens today. In Egypt, Eratosthenes calculated the circumference of the entire Earth in 240 BCE, using nothing but a stick and a shadow. The ancient Maya built a calendar tracking every visible planet across an 819-day cycle that staggers modern astronomers. A Bronze Age disk found in Germany, the Nebra sky disk, became the oldest star map ever found. Aristarchus of Samos declared in 270 BCE that the Earth moved around the Sun. And in Mesopotamia, the Venus tablet of Ammisaduqa recorded planetary movements with precision that still astonishes science today. 8 discoveries. 8 moments when ancient minds touched something eternal. This is part 1 of 2. Welcome back, explorers of the unknown. You are watching Terra Mysteries TV. The Warren Field calendar, the world's oldest lunar calendar. Before writing existed, before cities rose from the earth, before humanity had even settled long enough to plant its first seed, someone somewhere in the ancient hills of Scotland looked up at the moon and decided to count. In 2004, archaeologists excavating a field in Aberdeenshire, Scotland, known as Warren Field, made a discovery that would quietly rewrite the entire timeline of human intellectual achievement. Beneath the Scottish soil lay a series of 12 pits, carefully and deliberately arranged in a precise curving alignment stretching nearly 50 meters across the landscape. At first glance, they appeared to be simple holes in the ground. But when researchers from the University of Birmingham analyzed their positioning, their spacing, and their orientation toward the midwinter sunrise on the horizon, the truth of what they were looking at hit them like a thunderbolt. These 12 pits were not random. They were not ceremonial graves. They were not boundary markers. They were a calendar. Specifically, they were a lunar calendar, each pit corresponding to 1 month of the lunar year. Their arrangement designed to track the waxing and waning cycles of the moon across 12 successive months with a sophistication that no civilization of that era was supposed to possess. The Warren Field calendar dates back to approximately 8000 BCE, making it not just old but staggeringly, almost incomprehensibly old. It predates the next oldest known calendar by nearly 5,000 years. It predates the invention of writing. It predates agriculture. It predates every monument, every city, and every civilization that history has ever formally recognized. Why it baffled scientists. This calendar predates the first known formal calendars from Mesopotamia by nearly 5,000 years, and was built not by farmers or civilized peoples, but by nomadic hunter-gatherers who had no writing, no metal tools, and no agriculture. The sophistication required to track lunar drift and correct it annually using a solar alignment was something no one expected from Stone Age Scotland. As the project leader put it, this may be the place where time itself was invented. And yet there it was. 12 pits, 1 moon, 10,000 years of silence, and a message that somehow still speaks. The Babylonian Saros cycle, predicting eclipses 2,500 years ago. Imagine standing in the middle of an ancient city, surrounded by people who believe that a solar eclipse is the wrath of the gods descending upon the earth. A divine punishment, a cosmic warning, an omen of catastrophe and death. Imagine the panic, the prayers, the desperate offerings burned at temple altars as the sun vanishes from the sky in the middle of the day. Now imagine that one group of people in that ancient world was not panicking at all, because they already knew it was coming. The Babylonian astronomers of ancient Mesopotamia, working without telescopes, without mathematics as we know it today, without any instrument beyond their own eyes and an unrelenting obsession with the night sky, discovered one of the most elegant patterns in all of cosmic mechanics. They called it the Saros cycle, a period of exactly 18 years, 11 days, and 8 hours after which the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun return to almost precisely the same geometric alignment, and eclipses repeat themselves with breathtaking regularity. By meticulously recording every eclipse they witnessed across generations of dedicated observation, Babylonian scholars built a database of cosmic events so detailed and so accurate that they could predict future solar and lunar eclipses centuries before they occurred. Clay tablets recovered from the ruins of ancient Mesopotamia show eclipse predictions of extraordinary precision, calculated by human minds working in candlelight thousands of years before the birth of modern astronomy. Why it baffled scientists. With no telescopes, no calculus, and no modern instruments, Babylonian astronomers achieved a level of predictive accuracy that modern scientists still use today when studying ancient eclipses. Their clay tablet records remain scientifically valid references. The gods did not darken the sun. The Babylonians simply knew when it would happen, and they wrote it down in stone. Eratosthenes calculated Earth's circumference in 240 BCE. There is a particular kind of genius that does not require laboratories or satellites or supercomputers. A kind of genius that requires only a curious mind, a willingness to ask the question nobody else thought to ask, and the quiet confidence to trust what the universe is trying to show you. Eratosthenes of Cyrene possessed all three, and on an ordinary day in Alexandria, Egypt, in 240 BCE, he used a stick, the angle of sunlight, and the power of pure human reasoning to calculate the circumference of the entire Earth. And he got it almost perfectly right. Eratosthenes was the chief librarian of the legendary Library of Alexandria, the greatest repository of human knowledge the ancient world had ever assembled. One day he read a curious account describing how in the city of Siena, in southern Egypt, the sun cast absolutely no shadow at the bottom of a deep well at noon on the summer solstice. The sun was directly overhead, perfectly vertical, not a single degree of deviation. But in Alexandria, located roughly 800 kilometers north of Siena, the sun at that exact same moment cast a measurable shadow. Eratosthenes measured the angle of that shadow and found it to be approximately 7.2 degrees, precisely 1/50th of a full 360-degree circle. The conclusion was as elegant as it was revolutionary. If the sun's rays struck two different points on Earth at two different angles simultaneously, then the Earth's surface must be curved. And if 800 kilometers corresponded to 1/50th of that curve, then the full circumference of the Earth must be approximately 800 multiplied by 50, roughly 40,000 kilometers. The actual circumference of the Earth is 40,075 kilometers. Wyatt baffled scientists. He achieved less than 2% error on a planetary measurement with no instruments, no satellites, and no modern math. Over 2,200 years ago, with a stick, with a shadow, with nothing but the fearless application of a brilliant mind to a question the rest of the world had not yet thought to ask. Stonehenge, a prehistoric solar and lunar observatory. There are monuments that inspire awe. There are monuments that inspire wonder. And then there is Stonehenge, a monument that inspires something altogether deeper. Something that sits uncomfortably between admiration and unease, because the more carefully you study it, the more impossible it becomes to explain away as the work of primitive minds simply stacking stones. Rising from the flat, wind-swept plains of Salisbury in Wiltshire, England, Stonehenge has watched the sky for over 5,000 years. Its massive sarsen sandstone blocks, some weighing up to 25 tons, transported from Marlborough Downs over 25 kilometers away. And its smaller bluestones dragged from the Preseli Hills of Wales over 250 kilometers distant were not placed randomly. They were not placed decoratively. They were placed with an astronomical precision so deliberate and so sophisticated that modern researchers are still mapping the full extent of its celestial alignments to this day. The most famous of these alignments is breathtaking in its simplicity. On the morning of the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, the rising sun aligns perfectly with the heel stone standing outside the main circle, casting its first light directly through the monument's central axis and illuminating the altar stone at its heart. Every single year, without deviation, without failure, as it has done for 5,000 unbroken years. But the solar alignment is only the beginning. Stonehenge also encodes a precise understanding of the lunar cycle. The 56 Aubrey holes, a ring of chalk pits surrounding the main stone circle, are now believed by researchers to have functioned as a sophisticated lunar calendar, capable of tracking and predicting lunar eclipses with remarkable accuracy. The moon follows an 18.6-year cycle of rising and setting positions along the horizon, and Stonehenge, in its geometry and its layout, demonstrably accounts for this cycle. Why it baffled scientists. The builders had no writing, no metal tools, and yet they engineered a structure with solar and lunar alignments precise enough to still be observable today. The bluestones were sourced 200 miles away in Wales, and no one can fully explain why, which raises the question that has haunted archaeologists for generations. How did a civilization with no written language, no formal mathematics, and no optical instruments develop a precise enough understanding of solar and lunar mechanics to encode them permanently into 5-ton blocks of stone? From the moonlit pits of Warren Field to the eclipse predictions of ancient Babylon, from a single stick casting a shadow in Alexandria to the solstice sunrise blazing through Stonehenge, these 4 ancient minds reached beyond everything their world told them was possible and touched the eternal truth of the cosmos above them. But we are only halfway there. 4 more extraordinary ancient astronomical discoveries are waiting in part 2, and they may just be the most mind-bending ones of all. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these 4 discoveries shook you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Every voice in this community matters deeply. Leave a like if the ancient sky moved something inside you. Subscribe to Terra Mysteries TV if you haven't already. And stay close. Part 2 is coming very soon. The universe still has 4 more secrets to reveal.